Hello my beautiful friends. Today I am so excited to be bringing you a cozy mystery recommendation video. This video is going to be highlighting older sleuths. So primarily sleuths who are considered seniors. I know this can kind of vary based on country or just things like that, but I think here in the US it's usually 60 or 65 and up is generally considered a senior citizen. So to the best of my knowledge, the sleuths featured in these are typically in their 60s and up. So the book that kind of inspired this video, because it is one of the funniest cozy mysteries I have ever read in my life, that is the Gladdy Gold mystery series by Rita Lakin. This is the first book. It's called Getting Old is Murder. I love this. So this main character is 75 years old. Her and her friends live in this really nice Florida retirement community. I love how it describes it. It says she's not Miss Marple. Her friends are no Charlie's Angels. And I love them. Her and her friends are an absolute hoot. I have read 2 in the series. I would love to continue it. In this one, basically these murders at the retirement community are being overlooked by this young detective because he just kind of assumes, he's like, well, they're older, they're just dying on their own. And these ladies know something is up. They get involved in the case. This was a surprisingly complicated, a little bit of a darker mystery, but it had such a strong ending. I was really impressed by it. I've also read book 2, which is like a cruise ship setting, and it was so good. I strongly recommend this if you're looking for a really funny cozy mystery. It's beyond funny. I cannot get over this series. This next one is one of my all-time favorite writers, just period, and this series features a wonderful character. This is Vera Wong, and this is Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jesse Q. Sutanto. There are 2 books out in the series currently, and I'm hoping it's continuing. If you've heard about book 3, please let me know. This is the book here. It is phenomenal. Vera is described as a lonely little old lady of a certain age. She lives in San Francisco's Chinatown area, and she runs a tea shop that's very deserted, doesn't have a lot of customers. She lives above the tea shop, and one day she comes down to find a dead body in the middle of her tea shop. And she calls the police, as a good citizen would do, but she decides to snoop around a little bit while she's at it, because why not? And she might even pocket a little evidence. And she gets involved in solving this, and she is hysterical. She is hilarious. She's so heartwarming. She takes the suspects under her wing as found family. If you like found family, this one is so charming, hilarious. It is just such a well-written book. I just adore this. It has so many delicious tea and food scenes because Vera is quite the cook and will often bring food to suspects to kind of bribe them into talking. Smart lady. And I just love this. I couldn't say more about this. This was one of my favorite books I read last year, and yeah, book 2 was also very strong. Definitely recommend looking into this if you're looking for a senior sleuth mystery. The Eugeena Patterson mystery series by Tyora Moody. This one features a retired school teacher. I'm not sure what her exact age is, but she is a retiree, and she is a wonderful, witty character. I've listened to these on audio, and the narration is really strong for this. I really enjoy it. She is a widow, and she's a retired school teacher. She investigates murders primarily in her neighborhood, finds deep, dark community secrets, and also deals with her adult kids. There's usually some subplots going on with them, and I just love this series. I think it is phenomenal. The books are on the shorter side, so if you're looking for just kind of short, sweet, great mysteries, this is a really great cozy. There's so much wit and heart in this series, and I've just enjoyed it so much. I think I've read the first 4 books or so, and I plan on continuing. I think there's 10 in total. This list would not be complete without Miss Marple, the original cozy mystery sleuth. I mean, we have to give her props. We have to give Agatha Christie quick props here. So if you're not familiar with Miss Marple, she is a phenomenal character created by Agatha Christie herself. This is the short story collection, which I have read and just absolutely adored. Miss Marple lives in a small English country town, very small community, but lots of drama, lots of murders. One of my favorites from her collection is A Murder is Announced and The Moving Finger. A Murder is Announced is where there's literally a murder announced in the paper, and people show up thinking it's a murder mystery party, and of course someone is actually murdered. The ending for that is permanently seared in my brain. It was such a good reveal. And then The Moving Finger is one of blackmail, where people are receiving these mysterious letters calling them out for different scandals and things like that, and unfortunately this leads to someone actually taking their own life, and Miss Marple gets involved in the mystery to try and find out who is behind these letters. Miss Marple is a wonderful character. I'm actually looking forward to hopefully watching some Miss Marple in the future. I've never watched any of the adaptations. If you have recommendations, let me know. I've read both short stories and novels from Miss Marple's collection, and I love her. She is so lovely and calm and just very not in your face. She just kind of sits back, takes everything in, and then just pops the reveal out like this, and everyone's just like, really? And then she's always right, of course, and I love it. So if you have not read Miss Marple, I would really recommend it. A Senior Sleuth Mystery Series by Laurien Berenson. This features Peg and Rose. I think there are 3 books out in this. I'm caught up on the series, and Peg and Rose will steal your heart. So Peg and Rose are both kind of retiree age, and they are hilarious. I love them. So Peg is a little bit of a more like a hard-nosed character. She's very by the books. She's really big into dog shows. She's got standard poodles that she raises. She's very into her dogs. And then Rose actually has this very complicated, I think, backstory. I think she was like a nun or something, like she was going to be a nun or she was a nun, but she ended up leaving to get married to her very sweet husband. This is actually an offshoot of one of Laurien Berenson's other series, which I'll put on screen because I can never remember what it's called, but I actually haven't read that series. That one's like a dog, I think, show, cozy mystery series, but this is an offshoot, and Peg and Rose are a delight. They are sister-in-laws and they do not get along, and in the first book Rose tries to come to Peg and she's like, you know what, we're getting older and Peg has lost her husband, which was Rose's brother. She's like, why don't we make amends? Why don't we try to get along? Why don't we go to some bridge together? Like, let's play some cards and do bridge, you know? And they go, and someone from the bridge club is murdered, and they get involved in that, and they get into so many hijinks together. You will just love the relationship because they are so at odds yet so awesome together. They're quite the dynamic duo. I really love this series. It is truly so funny. I haven't heard anything about it continuing, haven't seen a new release announced. I'm hoping it's continuing, but it is such a good series if you like dogs, if you are looking for senior sleuths, if you're looking for a comedic dynamic duo. This is such a strong cozy mystery series. I would really recommend it. An Emily Cherry mystery series by Donna Doyle. This is a very short cozy mystery series. There are 10 books in this, but the cozies are very short. So if you're looking for something kind of lighthearted and fun, these are very sweet cozies. Basically, Emily Cherry is a grandmother. She is retired and she's looking to try something new. She's, you know, her son kind of, I think, gets on her nerves a little bit at one point because she says she wants to start a blog. And her son's like, how are you going to do that, Mom? You're not that tech savvy. And she's like, well, I'm going to show him. And she sure does. And the theme for this is that it is kind of like a senior sleuth mystery, and that each book centers around a different theme for her blog. So the first book is like a food cozy mystery. She decides she's going to be a food critic, and of course someone dies at the restaurant when she's reviewing the food. That's how she gets involved in the case. But then another one is like she's volunteering at an animal shelter and she's trying to do some write-ups for them. So it's really kind of like a writing blog theme / senior sleuth themed cozy mystery series. So really, really lovely. Emily Cherry is so sweet, and what I really like about this series is that it really drives home this message of don't judge a person by how they look or their age, both in regards to Emily herself, but also Emily catching herself maybe judging a young person who's very tattooed or has like colored hair or something like that that maybe isn't quite her thing, but she realizes she's judging someone by their looks and she's like, hey, I don't want to do that, like, you know. And I love that message. I love that they're driving home this don't judge a book by its cover message. I think it's so sweet. These are short, sweet, really great cozies. I don't think the mysteries are super complex, but they are a really great listen. I really enjoy them. A Hometown Hardware Mystery Series by Paula Charles. So this one features our main character, Donna Carpenter, and she is a woman who's in her 60s. She is a widow. She has an adult daughter in the area who I really enjoy. I like the relationship a lot. And her husband had founded this hardware shop together. and her husband is no longer around, unfortunately, but she is continuing to run it. And Donna is trying to sort some things out with her daughter April. There's also this really irritating like shop owner nearby, and then she discovers a body in the bathroom of her hardware shop, which sets off a whole chain of events, and she and her daughter are really worried this is going to affect the business, and they're worried about who this person is, and they get involved. And I love Donna. She is such a fleshed out, like, real character, and I love that. My favorite in the series so far is book 2, which is Ask Me No Questions. It is the perfect fall cozy. It has like an autumn festival, axe throwing. It is so good. And then I'm actually just about to start A Zappy Little Christmas, which is the most recent release, and it's a Christmas themed one. Cannot wait. So this one is a really wonderful one featuring a character in her 60s. Very strongly recommend it. The characters and descriptions are so well done. I really, really love this series, and the mysteries keep catching me off guard every time. Like, I'm so obsessed with this author, so definitely check them out. I think they are so underrated. Auntie Lee's Delights, a Singaporean mystery by Ovidia Yu. I've only read the first book in the series. There are 3 in the series in total, and I would definitely like to continue it. This one is extremely heartwarming and a little bit of a deeper dive. Like, there is some dealing with some of the politics and things going on in Singapore, so if that's not something you want to read about, keep that in mind. It still maintains a very cozy feel to it overall, but just keep that in mind depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a super lighthearted escape, this one's a little heavier, so keep that in mind. So our main character in this is Rosie Lee, also known as Auntie Lee, and she is a widow, and she's a very wealthy widow, so she could easily become, you know, kind of an idle person, but she decides to open this Auntie Lee's Delights, a Singaporean restaurant. She features these spicy, delicious dishes. I have not gotten to properly try Singaporean food, and I need to after reading this. The food descriptions will make your mouth water. And in this one, a body is found at a popular tourist hotspot, and then she has a dinner party and a guest doesn't show up, and she somehow puts together that these are connected and gets involved. And this one also has some good kind of found family vibes, where she really takes people under her wing and helps like younger people who are struggling, which I really love to see. And I thought the writing for this was just really well done and beautiful, so I would really recommend this. I think it's a series that deserves more love, so definitely check it out. Not Before You Enter by Tish Bouvier. This is a wonderful debut that just came out this fall. I know a second book I think is coming out next year. This author was at Ashland, Oregon, and oh, it is so good. This is a Maxine gerrymander mystery series, and basically Maxine is more of an elderly woman, and she is forced by her son to go into a nursing, like kind of a rehab facility for a while because she injures herself pretty badly and can't stay at home by herself for a while. So she is an octogenarian sleuth, and she is plotting her escape from this living community while she's there. And while she's there, she does join a crochet group. So this is definitely a great one. There's a lot of crochet references, so if you enjoy a crafty cozy, this is a great one that has both of those genres really covered. And she starts to kind of, you know, actually enjoy herself a little bit, make some friends. Then someone is found murdered at the senior home, and she gets involved because she actually has a background as a researcher for a private investigator. So she's got some really amazing skills, where she's still an amateur sleuth, but she's a little more high-tech than you would expect, and I love that. She's also she's got this great wit and sass. Her and her son have a pretty good relationship. She really gives him a hard time when you can tell he's just trying to do his best, but she's also not happy with the decision, and you can see it from both sides. Like, I know it would be a very difficult position to be in for either of them. And this one definitely features a heavy dose of Southern hospitality and, you know, sweetening things up with a little bit of honey, and I just adore it. I love it. The dialogue in this was especially strong. I really, really enjoyed the wit that the author infused into her dialogue, and I thought the reveal for this was really good. I'm so looking forward to the book that's coming out hopefully next year, and can't wait to continue reading more from this author. Murder by Cheesecake. This is a Golden Girls cozy mystery by Rachel Ekstrom Courage. Now, I am including this on here. I know some of the Golden Girls, I think at the very beginning of the series, are in their 50s. However, Sophia I know is, I think, well into her 70s at the beginning of the series, and I think the Golden Girls are in their 60s throughout most of the series. If I'm wrong on that, I'm sorry. I've watched some of the series and I have really enjoyed it, but this was just a hilarious cozy I wanted to include on this list because it's got that wit. It's got just such a great bombastic group of characters that you'll just fall in love with. I actually read this before I ever watched the show, and it made me want to watch the show, and now I need to reread this again to enjoy it even more. But this is the cover here. And things are heating up in this book, and it's not just Blanche's hot flashes. Rose has a cousin who's coming out from St. Olaf to get married, but the groom's family is not from St. Olaf, and there is some conflict in terms of how the wedding is going to be hosted. So Rose tries to take over to be a peacemaker. Things go awry. Someone is found murdered by the cheesecake. The wit and humor in this is just hysterical. These gals, I mean, if you've ever seen the show, this very much captures, I think, the essence of the show, and it's just lovely. And of course, the person who is murdered is Dorothy's poor date, because Dorothy seems to have quite the difficulty with her love life, unfortunately. I don't know if she gets a happy ending later in the series. I'm not sure. Maybe. But either way, the Golden Girls are a wonderful group of characters. They are like the best of friends, absolutely found family. I mean, Dorothy and her mother, of course, are related, but they are really like this close-knit group that you'll just fall in love with whether you've watched the show or not. So I just wanted to throw this in as a recommendation. This one does take place in Florida and has more of a spring and summer vibe to it if you're looking for a seasonal read. Next we have one by Lee Hollis, who is a hysterical writer. This is the Desert Flowers mystery series. The first one is called Poppy Harmon Investigates. So Poppy is a retiree, and she is quite used to the lap of luxury. Her husband and her are very wealthy. However, things go awry, and she quickly becomes this penniless widow who needs to find some kind of work. And she hasn't worked in years, she doesn't have like a good resume or anything like that, but her and her friends Violet and Iris team up together to open this Desert Flowers private investigation agency. And unfortunately, they're getting overlooked by people because they don't have a lot of experience, of course, and also because potentially people overlooking them because of their age. So they actually team up with a man named Matt, who is very young, he's handsome, he's like the face of who you would think of as like a young detective on like a hotshot TV show, and he pretends to be like the head of the private investigation firm while the ladies do the real work. It is hysterical, and the ending for this first book, you could have pushed me over with a feather. I was so surprised. Lee Hollis is a fabulous comedic writer. I absolutely adore his work so much. I need to continue this series, and Poppy, Violet, and Iris will make you laugh. Matt is hysterical. It's such a funny setup, and I just love seeing them reinvent themselves. And I think that is just wonderful. I love watching it. I love reading it. I think it's awesome. Next, I want to recommend Freya Sampson. Now, she doesn't have a specific one that just features a senior sleuth, but she always has prominent senior characters, so I just wanted to highlight her because I really enjoy her work. So for starters, Nosy Neighbors is a story about this, it kind of feels like Murder Only in the Buildings-esque, because it's this really beautiful big apartment building that's really part of the history of this town, and these residents, specifically a young woman who's like in her 20s, she has like tattoos and pink hair and piercings, and this kind of a little more judgmental older woman kind of have to team up when someone in their building is hurt, and their building is potentially going to be like all the residents are gonna be kicked out of the building. So it's very much like a found family heavy book. I love the relationship between these two. It's a very begrudging friendship at first, but seeing them grow together is incredible. And they both have really great backstories that kind of explain why they are the way they are, because the younger woman is very, I would say, skittish when it comes to developing friendships, whereas the older woman is a little bit more on the judgmental, kind of jaded side, and you get to see where both these characters are coming from and also see them develop throughout the book, as well as solving the mystery. So I love that. I also recommend the Busybody book club, which was her newest release. This one features a book club, and again, you do get to read from multiple perspectives, so not all of the characters are seniors, but there's one in particular, my favorite point of view that I read from in this book was Phyllis, and I was tearing up at certain points. Freya Sampson has such good emotional subplots with her characters. It's never just the mystery. And in this one, the Busybody Book Club, one of the members is accused of murder, and the rest of them, and they're very much this eclectic group, mismatched, you wouldn't find them together if they weren't in this book club, you know? They don't seem like they go together, but they come together to save their book club member who's accused of the murder and to find them because they disappear and the police can't find them, but they're accused. They start to investigate, and I love Phyllis so much. There's also an elderly gentleman who's in this who will just, warm your heart. I adored his character and his arc so much, so I thought this was a phenomenal read. I just wanted to include those. The sleuths aren't exclusively seniors, but they are a fantastic range of characters that I would just really recommend checking out. So this next one is a little bit more maybe classic mystery. It's not super dark, but I wouldn't say it's like pure cozy, but I just wanted to include it as kind of an option. This is the Joseph Spectre Locked Room Mystery Series by Tom Mead. I have read Cabaret, Macabre. I recently picked up book 1 in this and I'm really excited to read it. But basically this features a retired magician. He is a retired stage magician and he solves these really crazy locked room mysteries. It's very Agatha Christie Golden Age mystery-esque. There's a lot of amazing misdirection in these mysteries. I found the ending for this one to be phenomenal. So if you're someone who likes kind of an Agatha Christie Golden Age mystery, you like locked room mysteries, and you're interested in magic, this is really cool. The idea of a retired stage magician solving mysteries is such a fun idea. I cannot wait to continue this series, but I would really recommend it as an option. And then last but not least, I recommend one by Miranda James. This is the Southern Ladies Mystery Series and has a fabulous like Southern hospitality theme throughout it, but it features 2 sisters who are retirees. They're a bit on the older side, and we have Miss Angel and Miss Dixie Ducat, and they have this gorgeous home. In the first book, Bless Her Dead Little Heart, which I've read and it was a 5-star read for me, they're actually pet sitting the cat from the Cat in the Stacks mystery series, which is a phenomenal bookish cozy mystery. So if you enjoy that series, this is kind of a fun offshoot with little, you know, pop-ups from characters in that. And in this one, a former sorority sister of theirs shows up kind of unexpectedly, claims like her family's trying to kill her, and then the family shows up too, and of course someone is murdered. The mystery is so good in this one, and there's a lot of heart. I love the relationship between the 2 sisters, and there's some great cat moments as well, of course. So if you like Diesel from the Cat in the Stacks mystery series, if you like a cat-heavy cozy, if you like, you know, 2 sisters, 2 dynamic sleuths, this is a really great one. If you like Southern cozies, I recommend it strongly. And that's all for me today, guys. If you have other recommendations, I would love to hear it. I'm always looking for new cozy mysteries to check out, especially with sleuths who are just a little bit outside of the norm of the like late 20s, early 30s. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. But hopefully this gave you some ideas. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy mystery content. I talk about cozy mysteries, and thrillers on my channel, and also do cozy reading vlogs. I would love it if you'd stick around. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!